garage. In this episode, front wheel, back wheel. They're coming out the bike so they can be resprayed, so I can get into the back of the swinging arm to give it a good clean, just so I can check everything. And the front one, take it out again, respray it, and just clean everything up, check everything, check the brakes, and I'll probably actually give the brakes a good service because I think they need it. The bike hasn't been cared for, so likely it's not the brakes haven't been cared for. But let's get on with it, let's take that back wheel out. Okay, this is all we're going to need. We're just going to give it a good old whack and the wheel will come out. Yeah, we should be so lucky. Right, start with, I'm just going to take the mud guard off to get it out, the chain guard off, just to get it out of the way. I am that strong. I've already loosened stuff like that just to make life a bit quicker. As you can see, it's all clogged up inside there, so that'll all get cleaned out. And the bolts, they're odd bolts, so we'll put some nice, decent bolts in that match. That's kind of the state of this bike. Someone's had it and they've just used it, and if a bolt's come out, oh, they've just seen what they've got in their garage or nicked it off their lawnmower to shove in there. So it's just a case of getting it. I'm not on about concourse and buying genuine Suzuki parts. Just making it look a little bit better and copper grease and everything before you put it back. And in my personal opinion, just make it a bit safer, you know, and a bit easier to work on in the future if you've got something as simple as this, rather than having a 10mm nut and a Phillips screwdriver. Just have the same 10mm nuts, you know. But anyway, I digress. So I've already loosened this off. 36mm nut. I think that's one of the biggest nuts I've known for a rear axle. All the bikes I've done have never had a 36mm, but still, maybe it's just me. Anyway, nut comes off, spacer washer comes off. That, I've already loosened off the chain tensioners each side, so now that just has to get knocked through. Little spacer there as well comes off. I like to put everything in order underneath, just in case you forget when you come to take it out. It's just good practice just to lay everything out as it's going to come. And that's going to come out from there, so it's a bit of a jiggling game really. I've got a brick there just to help support it. We'll put that under the back wheel just to help to support it, and it's a case of pop the chain off, knock that out, which is never easy to be honest. You end up getting a bar into there to push that all the way out. Then you can release that thinner bar. We'll see how we get on. You never know, it might just come out. We'll get a bar ready. We'll see how it turns out. It's not like the TT where they do this in under a minute. Okay. So the chain's not going to come off yet. Definitely not going to come out. I was hoping. There we go. It's free from this side now. It's solid that side. There's a bit of grease on it, but not a lot. Hear that pop. Spindle out. It's got some grease on it, to be fair. I was expecting that to be dry as a bone, so quite happy with that. And it hasn't really gnarled up the end too much, we're absolutely fine. There's quite a bit of leeway on the end there before the thread starts, so you're not going to nib up the thread. out, chain off, should just come to the brakes, and there we go, rear wheel off. Now we'll try and get the front wheel out. Keep those two tight, remove the opposite two here, they're like the locking nuts. Then remove the thread using a 27mm socket, release the axle. The axle screws into that, that's basically a nut, so the axle screws into that. You release that, which will allow the axle to come out. Now I've had the trouble that my paddock stand sits exactly where this needs to come out of. So it's been a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest. But we're getting there, we've got to make a few little alterations to try and get it out. But it's getting there slowly. Just going to try and tack the axle out now. Pop. There she goes. Oh dear. Now I've got that stuck. Oh dear. There she goes. Okay. That was a bit of... that got stuck inside there. I'm sure there are professionals out there going, what the bloody hell is he doing? There's a tool for that. Got the job done, didn't I? Right. So the axle's come out now. Again, it's got grease on it, so we're alright. Next job. I'll put that there. Next job, front wheel. I've got a feeling. It should drop out now. Ah no, because then it'll be this one holding it in. So now we'll remove this one. See, I've done one of these bikes before, but it was about 10 years ago. So I'm almost learning as we go. So there we go. So now in theory I think this one should come out. Yes. There she goes. So we're going to have to release the caliper. The wheel rim can't come past the calipers. Makes sense, really. There we go, caliper removed. I think we're going to have to do the same for the other side, bear with me. Okay, Houston, straight away I can spot a problem. Typical of this bike, it's getting there and I'm going to sort this out. The nut for the brake caliper is stripped. So we're not going to get the great brake caliper off with ease. I'll show you exactly what I mean. And there you go, if you can see. That nut there is stripped. I mean, that one's fine, just. But that one is totally stripped across there. What numpty did that? Right, I'm going to switch the camera off and I'm going to sort that crap out and then I'll get back to you in a minute. That's not coming off. I'm going to have to get some heat or something on that. I've been hammering a smaller sized sprocket onto it, but I'm just going to end up breaking the actual shock if I'm not careful, like the fork. I'm going to end up breaking the actual casting. So I'm going to leave it. I've managed to get the wheel out around it, so it's not a crisis, but that is something that's going to have to be looked at. Okay, so there we go. That's both the wheels taken out. Now we'll take them into the workshop and we'll start to rub them down and respray them and prep them to come back on the bike. And in the meantime, all this lot needs cleaning as well. More cleaning. Anyway, thank you for joining in. Please subscribe if you haven't already for the future episodes. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.